Hi everybody, and welcome to the Open eCry midweek market commentary for the 24th of July. My name's Simon Clark from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing the markets that are of key interest right now. Now, the first market I'm going to take a look at here is Euro GDP, this currency pair. And the reason I like this one is because it looks like potentially it's just starting a new leg of its uptrend here on some of these higher time frames, specifically the daily chart. But let me just talk you through the time frames and show you what I'm looking at. Now, first of all, here on the monthly chart, we can see we've got a number of levels on this market, and there's more levels that we can identify as we come down the time frames. But here on the monthly chart, we can see that this 8400 level has been sort of particularly sort of key support and resistance going back for a number of years. Price most recently has sort of broken through it, come back and retested this level a few times, and now we're starting to move back up again to the long side. We've certainly got some nice convergence here on the indicators, indicating agreement with the current move of direction. If we take a look at the weekly chart now we can start to see a few more levels that I've got marked in here in price, and it's pretty much been a case of this with this market. It's been trading between key support and resistance levels on these higher time frames. Recently price has come down, it's tested this sort of 7800 down here. We've now moved back up, tested the 8800, pulled back down, tested 8400 again a couple of times here, and now there's another level in here, as you can see, 8500, which has been tested quite a few times. It's quite precise as well through here. Price has then sort of come back, retested 8500, found support there, and now moving back up to the high side. So just looking at the sort of current analysis here, considering that the price is now tested and rejected off 8400, tested and rejected off 8500, the next sort of level that we can see on this time frame that's of any significance is around the 8800 up here. So possibly a move on the weekly chart, or up to retest this 8800 is possibly what I'm looking for. Currently at the moment, price action here and the indicators looking like they're converging. Moving averages just in the right order here. They're just sort of starting to fan round in the right order as well. Now if I come down to the lower time frames here and we start to take a look at the daily chart, we can see this price action in a bit more detail. And here on the daily chart, we've got all of our moving averages in the right order now, all fanning very nicely as well. We can see this level here, the 8600 level, which again on this time frame is rather significant. You can see how many times this has been tested. Price just tested underneath this level, and now we've broken up decisively above it. Nice convergence here on the indicators too, and certainly this market is certainly looking like it wants to retest the old highs up here. So this is what I'm looking for on this particular market. I'm just coming down to these lower time frames. I mean, here's the 480 chart. I've got another level that we can see marked in here, slightly higher even still, this 8580, which is nice and sort of tight. We can see this sort of level being rejected and price sort of pushing up to the high side. And even sort of coming down to these lower time frames, even still sort of coming down to the 60-minute chart here. If I open this up, we can see I've got these levels marked in here. So we've got the 8600 level here, we've got this 8580 down here, which price has tested a few times. It found rock solid support here, it couldn't move down. We had buying momentum in the market here with the MACD and the RSI, and now the market has now started to form a new uptrend here on the 60-minute chart. Certainly looking very bullish. We've got three of our moving averages there, all in the right order, all starting to fan out as well, with lovely convergence here on the indicators too. So what I'm looking for is down on these lower time frames on the 60-minute and the 240-minute, looking for trading opportunities, possibly trend flow trading opportunities, up until we get up to these sort of recent highs. So maybe the 86 sort of 70 level up here, and just underneath there, just around here, 86, 65-ish sort of level, and possibly then up to retest the highs that we were looking at there on the daily charts and the weekly charts as well. Okay, the next market I'm looking at here today is the CAD yen, another currency pair, and this has got very strong price action on the lower time frames. And if we just take a look here at the through the analysis, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Here on the monthly chart, we can see quite some time the price has been treading sideways. Just recently, though, we've now started to have a start of a bullish price action. We've come up and we've tested the parity level, moving averages all fanning in the right order, and we've got nice convergence on the indicators too. Coming along to the weekly chart, we can see this price action a lot more clearly. Price came up, we've had a nice strong bullish price action with nice optimal chart structure. Price tested the parity level, pulled back just beyond the buy zone, and now sort of nice bullish momentum to the high side again. Possibly a retest of the parity level is the first level that I'm looking for on this particular market. Coming down to the lower time frame, so taking a look here at the daily chart, we can see the structure here of this new uptrend. So price sort of came down to the sort of 92 level here that we tested numerous times. So this was actually sort of support and resistance, if I mark that in. So we've actually found that this level has been prior support and resistance, tested this level a couple of times, and now we've got a nice optimal chart structure forming as price is now moving to the high side. Got lovely convergence here on our indicators too, and just two of our moving averages in the right order there. However, when we come down to the lower time frames, we can see here on the 240 chart that now we've got on these lower time frames all of our moving averages in the right order, and we've got some nice trend flow sort of opportunities here as the market continues. And again, just looking down here onto these lower time frames, as you can see here on the 240-minute chart and here on the 60-minute chart, we've got some lovely sort of price structure, nice smooth flowing price action, moving averages all in the right order, with our indicators also converging on price as well. So again, just looking for sort of trend flow trading opportunities as sort of price moves its way up, and just looking for a sort of a retest of that parity level that we were looking at there on the higher time frames. Okay, so the last market I'm going to talk about today is silver. This is the mini futures contract, the APYI, and if we just take a look through the time frames, I think silver is at one of those decision points, and there's a level which I'm keeping a close eye on. So here on the monthly chart, we can see that silver has been in quite a strong downtrend for some time, and a little bit overextended from the averages, but we've got lovely convergence here on the indicators, certainly looking very bearish. If we come down to the weekly chart here, and if I just zoom this up a little bit, what we can see is that price has come down to this $20 level. This $20 level has been tested numerous times. This is previous support and resistance. Price has now sort of come down to this level. It's punched underneath it, and now it's pulled back up, and we're just coming back and testing the sell zone here. We've certainly got nice convergence here on the indicators, and we were a little bit overextended from the moving averages as well. So a pullback into the sell zone is very expected. However, this $20 level in the conjunction of a downtrend here is what I'm sort of looking for. So if price is going to, I'm looking to see if this level is going to hold and price is going to break back underneath the $20 level, and if so, then we could continue a downtrend and possibly look for much lower prices, or whether we're going to get a short-term pullback here. So if we come down to the lower time frames here, take a look at the daily chart here, we can see the significance here of this $20 level. Prices sort of come down, we've made a low, and since then we've pretty much made a higher low, a higher high, a higher low still, and now a higher high. So we've certainly got the formation now on the daily chart of a new uptrend. Here's the $20 level. We can see that in here. We certainly can see we've got lovely convergence here on the indicators too. And this moment in time, what I'm looking for is checking to see if this $20 level is going to hold. If we're going to break underneath this level and if we break underneath it, then I think we're certainly going to get a retest of these old lows and possibly look for further support and resistance on those higher time frames to the short side. If we can break up to make new highs, then I certainly think we could be in for a short-term uptrend at least, and possibly the next level of support and resistance that we see here, possibly up to the sort of 22 sort of 70 area ish that we can see there on this time frame. So just coming down to these sort of lower time frames like we see here on the sort of 480 and down here as we see on the 240 chart, we can see this $20 level where it is. We can see how significant it is in price action, and at the moment we're just sitting above it, but just like I say, I'm just keeping an eye to see whether this level is going to hold and be support as price moves to the high side, or whether it's going to break underneath it again and continue the move to the short side. So that's the market commentary and the outlook that I'm looking for here on the midweek market outlook. So I hope you found it useful, and I'd like to thank you for joining me here on the Open Cry midweek market commentary, and look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye for now.